I felt like I was finally able to get things done. The long list of stuff that was just so overwhelming for me, while I was doing the social media stuff, it was no longer overwhelming because I had 100% of my focus on conference connection.
Welcome to the Take Back Your Biz interview series, where I'm talking with industry influencers about how they have found more joy, freedom, and growth in their businesses by taking back what matters to them. I'm your host, Lauren Black, creative strategist and owner of Bosscation, a business retreat in a box to help entrepreneurs get away from your daily distractions to strategically plan for your business. If you want to hear more influencer interviews, make sure you head on over to bosscation.com/takebackyourbiz, where I also have details on a free challenge coming up to help you gain more freedom and joy in your business, as well as an awesome giveaway to go along with it. So today I am so excited to be speaking with the amazing Makeda Newton. So Makeda and I met in a Facebook group maybe a year and a half ago, was it?
Yeah.
And so we have been just chatting ever since, but Makeda came to me at a time where I was running my design business and was so overwhelmed and needed some help, but wasn't quite at the point where I felt comfortable affording help. And so Makeda said, hey, I'm wanting to break into social media management and I will do this for you for free. And so we ended up doing a trade of service where I did some of her branding and she did my social media management, which was amazing, such a good help. But Makeda's business has shifted quite a bit of offering websites and social media work and templates that you download, all sorts of different things. And then she came up with this amazing idea called the Conference Connection, which is now her sole focus, where it's the entrepreneur's guide to small business conferences, networking events, anything in person, pretty much that's multi-day events. And I remember when Makeda first had this idea and she came to me on the phone, we jumped on a call to just hash it out. And I was like, yes, this is so needed in our industry so that you're not just searching Facebook groups for what conference is a good one to attend. And so that you can really search by date and time and place and type of event and the size of the event to find the right event for you. So today, I love that Makeda's topic is take back your focus, because she had so many ideas, just like all of us as creatives and business owners. She had so many ideas going and really found the need to focus on one. So Makeda, will you share a little bit about what brought you to the decision of cutting back and kind of your story there with your entrepreneurial journey and how you found your focus?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for the introduction. That was so cool. Just focusing in business is hard. As entrepreneurs, we have so many ideas. We have so many things we want to do. We're just overloaded, right? And sometimes it can become very overbearing if you are taking action on everything that pops into your head. And that was pretty much what I was doing. And anything that I thought of, I was putting it on paper and I was, putting it out there for sale or whatever. And it got to a point where with the social media, it was something that I was kind of holding on to, that it was, I don't know, it was just holding on to it for a bit too long. And I knew since February that I needed to just get rid of it, not do it anymore. I wasn't that much in love with it anymore. And even at your, the Bosscation beta testing where we all got in person, the reviews or the feedback from other people was, Makeda, just get rid of it, because my face just lit up whenever I spoke about Conference Connection. It was just where my heart was. It was where I wanted to be. It was where, I had, ideas, and, it was just something that the industry needed and it just didn't have, right? And so there were you could find a ton of social media managers, right? But something as unique as Conference Connection, I really wanted to make that the focus of who I was as an entrepreneur. And although it was hard and I had to come to terms with the decision myself and not based on what other people's feedback was, I did eventually come there, and it was very simple for me to make that decision. So I cut off the social media and I strictly focused on conference connection. And what made me come to that decision even sooner was the fact that I felt like the conference connection was just sort of slipping away from me, right? In terms of, I was just thinking about all the stuff I had to do with it, and just to get it to the next level. And that in itself it was just overwhelming. And instead of, dealing with that and probably breaking down my goals into smaller action pieces, I just kind of put it off to the side. And once I realized that that is what I was doing to this fabulous resource that I came up with, it was just like a slap in the face, like, girl, what you doing? Like, get it together, girl, get it together. So that was the kick in the butt that I needed to really make this decision and stick with it. And oh my gosh, once I made that decision, I just felt so free. I felt so light. I felt like I was finally able to get things done. The long list of stuff that was just so overwhelming for me while I was doing the social media stuff, it was no longer overwhelming because I had 100% of my focus on conference connection, and I was solely working on it, and I didn't have anything else that was, distracting me or, taking away from my focus or my time or my abilities or whatever. It was just me and conference connection, and that was just where my focus was as an entrepreneur. And since then, it's been the best decision I've ever made, and it really showed me the importance of just having focus on one thing and getting that one thing completed.
Yeah, I have definitely run into that as well because, as you know, with me, I'm an ideas person too and have so many different ideas. I mean, right now I've got Bosscation, and then I still do a little bit with Legacy Loft, my first business, which is graphic design and branding. And then I have Elevate and Cultivate, a group for graphic design professionals to come together. And that's one that for me, it's like, I just don't want to let go of it because I have such a passion. And so I want to find a way to eventually, like right now, I haven't been doing much with Elevate and Cultivate or even Legacy Loft as I launch Bosscation, but I'm not ready to let go. But it's been helpful by cutting back in those areas to be able to focus on Bosscation because I haven't been taking new clients for Legacy Loft. And as you said, it is freeing to be able to just do one thing and you're not being pulled in a million different directions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how would you suggest that people kind of vision cast to look a year ahead and see what path they should be taking and how they know what to even focus on?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I think you definitely you definitely have to take like a look into yourself, see, what do I love doing? What am I really feeling at the moment? Do I see myself doing that in the future? Kind of make a list of things that you want to accomplish. And if, they light you up, and it's gonna like take you all the way to the next year, I say that's like one of the ways you can tell if, this is something that you want to do. Definitely also write things down. I am very big on, oh my gosh, like I think I was born with a pen and a paper in my hand. And I know my grandmother, she always complained to my mom, oh, Kata can't come here anymore because she all the ink in my pen is gone. Because I would write a lot, so that's really big for me. I always have a notebook and I always have a pen in my bag and I always write things down. And even if it's big, I try to break it down into pieces. So, you and I, we spoke about launching an idea for Conference Connection, that book, and it's far out. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it in the second quarter of next year, but that's a way ahead, right? But the one way for me to see if I'm interested in that is to definitely write things down. Can I put things down on paper? Can I measure it? Can I see, okay, I'm going to be making steps towards this big thing? yeah, am I excited about it? Is it something that, is aligned with my business, who I am as a person, as an entrepreneur? Um, I think, you could take all of those things into account to see if it's something that you still want to do.
Yeah, I think those are all really, really great points because if you just focus on finances and say, oh, what I'm doing now is making money, but
Yeah,
if it's draining you and you're going
yeah,
to burn out, then you're going to stop making money at that point and you won't have a backup plan. So thinking ahead like this and looking at what does light you up and what aligns with your long-term goals is a way that you can take baby steps. So how was it
exactly.
that how was your transition there as far as, did you have clients that you just let go or did you kind of ease them out? What was that like?
Yeah, so with the social media, it was kind of easy. So I had a few clients. I think I had about 4 clients at the time, and they signed a contract, and it was just like everything just started happening how it was supposed to happen. So little by little, no one signed a new contract to get back on with me. And so, I was really bummed about it in the beginning, but, when I made the decision, looking back, right, it just seemed like everything just started happening perfectly. Like everything just started lining up. Like you could just see that, I was making a decision. Like I was just going to like a new place. You can tell that conference connection was kind of taking over itself, and I didn't have to, fire anybody, or say, hey, I'm not going to be doing this anymore, whatever. Everything was just perfect and it just worked out. It just worked out how it was supposed to work out. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, so that kind of helps things just kind of flow into place too, as a
Right.
sign almost that you're meant to move on and do the next thing.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
what about if there's someone that, maybe did have a really strong business idea going and they were just struggling with it? Do you think it's time for them to move on or is it time to find a better solution within their business?
I guess that's a tough one. Sometimes you got to see where your heart is going, right? And sometimes, I I don't like to make emotional decisions, but sometimes it's just the way it happens, right? Um, it's like your heart just tells you what to do. Like the answer is already within you, right? And I think sometimes we make the wrong decisions because um, maybe we make a decision based on what someone else is telling us, or we force the answer instead of taking some time, taking a moment to actually figure out what's best for you in your business. Like I know sometimes as entrepreneurs, um, we do um, what we think is right, right? And what we think is right based on what other entrepreneurs are doing or what other people in our industry are doing. And sometimes what works for them may not work for you, right? So you just kind of have to me, take a look at your situation, see what could work best for you. Take some time. Take some time. Don't make any rush decisions. Just take some time and then just try to figure it out. I like to make a pros and cons list and see which one, which answer comes out better. If I'm thinking about 2 or 3 or, maybe even more possible answers or solutions to this problem, I make a pros and cons list for each solution and see which one is better. And then once I have that logical aspect of it done, then I know, I could say, okay, well, how do I feel about this? How does this solution make me feel? How does this solution align with my business? Is it going to work 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now? And I think these are all factors we have to take a look at in order to make, the best decision for us, and just try not to rush anything. Like clients are always here, customers are always here. Money to be made is always here. Like that is not going anywhere. But you just have to be careful because the moment you make a wrong decision, sometimes some people don't know how to bounce back from that. It can cripple them. It makes them scared to make any other decisions in their business. So just I just suggest for entrepreneurs to just take their time and do things logically first. And then once you're done, you see it on paper, you see what it looks like. Then you can ask yourself, how do I feel about this? How does this make me feel? How does this, whatever. Just ask yourself questions to get you going emotionally so that you could make a decision that's balanced. It's not all logical, but it's not all emotional either.
Yeah. And I think with some of what you said, a lot of times if you try to talk it out with other business owners that understand you and your business, sometimes it makes it clear just talking it out with someone. And you just,
Absolutely.
either they pick up on it. So I had a mastermind group that somebody was torn between two decisions, and she was talking up the one and saying so many great things and smiling. And then with the other one, she's like, well, and there's this and this and this. And we all knew right then and there, like exactly which one she was supposed to do. We're like, I don't care what makes the most sense logically. Your heart is in that one. And you came up with a lot more pros for that one. And so, yeah, sometimes your pros list and cons list might be a little biased, but that shows what's in your heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Now, as being an ideas person, and I know you are also an action taker, because that was so awesome when you were doing my social media. It was just like, done, you took care of it, you just jump on things and get things done. So how do you balance kind of your ideas and working on your, business with also the client work and the things that actually have to be done?
Yeah. So I have made the decision to not to do both things at the same time, because I have a 9 to 5, and that is pretty much what I would do. I have some free time here. Okay, let me do everything all at once. I don't have the luxury of breaking up my day. Half of this day is going to be for uploading events, and the other half is going to be for reaching out to hosts. I don't have that luxury. So So what I used to do was to just, okay, I have an hour here. Let me just do everything all at once. So I could not do that anymore. I had to still find some time and create a schedule, even though I had a 9 to 5, create a schedule to where it would work best for me, to where I can do like bulk work. So on my lunch breaks from 2 to 3, I see, okay, do I have any events that I need to upload, publish? And in that, because sometimes I don't get a full application that's been completed, right? So I have to reach out to the host. Hey, I need this, the answer to this question. It might take a couple of emails, and so that's a process, right? So once you're done with that, sometimes you're so drained, like, whew, like how can you go and reach out to conference hosts after that, right? So when I reach out to conference hosts, I do that at a completely different time. It's usually early in the morning. I try to get up around 5:30 and try to get some emails sent out, research conferences and other events that are going on, and I have a spreadsheet that I have a list of them, the dates that are going on, and I try to reach out to them and let them know what I do. And I'd love to have their event listed on my website. And yeah, so that's I guess my pitching side. And uploading the clients is just, it takes a different type of brain power. So not putting the two together is what works best for me. So just, keeping them separate. So I get to work in and on the business at separate times.
Yeah, I find I need to do that too, because if I just leave my email open and social media notifications open throughout the day when I'm trying to either write a blog post or focus on creating the content for the Bosscation strategy guides, I end up just getting so distracted and pulled in different directions. And so my favorite time to answer email is late at night. And even though I set my office hours and let people know like I'm available during the day, I'll just turn my email to offline and just write all of my emails, answer them all at night. And it's so much easier for me to focus. And then because I have it offline and I don't send them out till the next morning, that way if I were sending them out as I was writing them, people might start responding, and then I have to write back again. And it just takes that extra time and takes me away from finishing with other people's emails. So definitely the separation.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you do to plan ahead in your business and to stay focused on that path?
So planning ahead, definitely social media. I've had to unplug for the past couple weeks because my husband, he had a death in his family and I had to support him through that. But definitely planning ahead with social media, trying to figure out, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to put out there? It's, social media is very hard because you have to be, to me, like all of your content should line up. You know what I mean? And I love how you do it too. You were the first example of this for me. And I try to emulate it. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm just so inspired how your blog posts and your social media posts, they just go hand in hand. And it just makes so much sense because it's a cohesive message that you're spreading for that week or that month or, however long it is. So I try to plan out my social media and not just put like random stuff out there either, because that's the worst. People notice that, right? They know when you just, you just choose a picture. Oh, I like this picture. Oh, what can I write about this picture? It takes time to get to that point where all of your content just aligns perfectly with each other. And if they're reading it on your blog, it's the same thing that's on your, Instagram or your Pinterest or your, whatever. So I'm getting there, but that's one of the things I try to do to stay focused, to plan ahead, I should say, plan ahead in my business. Try to have at least a week's worth of content out. And what I started doing too was, just collecting pictures. Oh my goodness. This girl in a Facebook group, she was looking for an app where she can collect all of her pictures and tag them. And so whenever she clicked on a particular tag, for example, it'll bring up all of the pictures that's associated with that tag name. And so I suggested Google Keep for her. And she just thought it was so amazing. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What she wanted to do. And so I started doing that too. So I just started, collecting like a bunch of photos that I really liked, that was on brand, that I thought that I could use in my Instagram accounts. And I just started collecting them in Google Keep and tagging them. So it's not, when I'm looking for a photo to go with some content that I'm writing, I don't have to go and search for the photo. I've never had a brand photo shoot yet for Conference Connection. So in the meantime, this is what I have to do until I get there. So I have all of these photos already there. I can just go and search through them, see what I like, take it out. So planning for social media is a big one for me. Staying ahead. And then the next one too is trying to reach out to as many conference hosts as possible. Right now we're in 2017. I am planning for 2018, trying to get my calendar filled for next year, so that when people do start looking, because I fall like right about now is when they start looking, start planning, budgeting for the year. Okay, I have a budget for 2 conferences next year, you know what I mean? When they come to my website, I want them to see, okay, she has some events that I'm possibly interested in, retreats, workshops, whatever. So my focus right now is looking beyond 2017 and into 2018 to see how can we get this calendar filled with a ton of different events that entrepreneurs would be excited to attend.
Yeah, well, one thing that I think it's interesting transitioning from the corporate world into entrepreneurship is that in the corporate world, I feel like we did plan so far ahead. And compared to once I got into the entrepreneurial world, I was just, trying to take care of 1 week at a time. Whereas we started planning for Christmas and like our holiday programming back in, July, maybe sometimes even earlier. I think one year we had our first meeting in April. for the holiday season. But it helped because then when we got closer to the holidays and things were hectic, we were able to, we already had the plan. We already had everything done by the end of October for November and December. And so then in November, December, we could start planning for January and February. And it wasn't as stressful because we were on top of things. So that makes me feel like I haven't done any holiday planning yet, but I need to get on that game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's one thing that you have been really intentional with your business, and how has that kind of paid out for you?
Okay, so definitely, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm a broken record here. Definitely social media, because it really, with me, I'm still not 100% into Conference Connection in terms of having all of my ducks in a row, right? So just taking that one part of my business and just trying to be as intentional as possible has really made people realize that this resource exists. You know what I mean? So I've gotten so many followers. I've gotten people to join my list. They just go on my website and just fill out the form, to join my list. And then that's just so amazing. And just to see that alone coming from just, choosing one part of your business to, focus on is amazing, so that I'm really trying to be intentional there and really trying to focus there and get that right. I don't have it perfect yet, but just to get it right, so that it can, lead to other opportunities, other opportunities like collaboration and being able to be on, other people's, in front of their audiences and, share my experiences or, even learn from other people as well. So that's really where my focus is right at this moment, definitely on social media, because I've seen the benefits of it. And, like they say, marketing takes time, right? And I think if you focus on one thing, you get to see if it's working or if it's not, if you stick with it for some time. So for me, for social media, it's working and I'm loving it. I'm loving the benefits and I'm loving the results that I'm seeing. And so I know once I'm done with that, if I added something else, then I know I'm going to see even more results. So that's the beauty of that right now. And to think that I was never into Instagram to begin with, it's just so amazing. It's where my people are, and it's just really good to talk to them there, because they're already there. So it's just beautiful.
I love that, because you definitely need to find where your people hang out, because not every business is going to have people on Instagram. Some, it might be LinkedIn. I know a lot of people that are very successful with LinkedIn. For me, I've tried it. I don't really, maybe if I put more effort into it, I could find my people there, but I feel like my people are more on Instagram as well, and Facebook groups and everything. So, and one thing that you brought up that's a great point is just to focus on something for long enough to know if it's getting results.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly switching techniques and trying new things, it's great to try things because you want to make sure that it's working. But if you're trying too many at once and not focusing on just one thing, then you won't know if it's producing results. So tracking your analytics too is important, so that on your website and Google Analytics, your Instagram Analytics, whatever social media scheduler you use. So if you use, let's say Hootsuite or Later. Yes, I love Later. That's what I use. So if you use any of those all usually have their own tracking and analytics as well. So you can kind of get an idea of what is working, what links people are clicking, and then create more of that content. And it'll help you because, maybe you're spending hours and hours and hours on a certain thing, realizing that no one cares and no one's clicking it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely takes a lot of work, and it takes some structure and some consistency to definitely see those results and, to be on top of them. I am not almost a geek yet with the results, but I'm almost there. Like I'm always checking my my website visits, to see if it's growing, if people are getting there, and just it's definitely good to know that your business is going to the next level as an entrepreneur. Then it just makes you so much more pumped, to keep working at it.
Yeah. And when you're excited and you're seeing results, then you'll work even harder to get more results. And it just kind of, snowballs into something even bigger than you could have ever imagined.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you have any softwares or programs that you use that help you stay focused or help you even just streamline things to make it easier? I know you do have your 9 to 5, so your time is limited.
Yes. Okay. So I really love Google Keep. I guess it's like equivalent to, oh my gosh, what is that one app that has the elephant? The elephant?
Evernote.
Evernote. Okay. So it's very similar to Evernote, I guess. But I'm just a Google girl, so anything Google has, I love it. So I love Google Keep because I am able to take notes like on the fly, make checklists of stuff that I need to do. I'm real big on getting ideas out of my head. So if I am not able to get to pen and paper right away and I have my phone, I love having an app that I could just jot something down really quickly and know that it's out of my head. It's safe. It's it's in the app, and I know that I can always come back to it. So I love that. What else I love? Oh, I love this. It's I guess it's an app. It's an app for Gmail. It's called Mixmax. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it is like the coolest thing out there because I send so many emails out, reaching out to conference hosts. I sat down and I just created like a bunch of templates for this email. And, it highlights certain things that you would want to personalize in the email, for example. And I mean, even down to the subject line, I can put that in the template as well. So I love that. It really helps to make the best use of my time. And I don't have to sit here and worry about, okay, did I change this person's name? You know what I mean? It just highlights everything for you. So I really love that. And then also being able to see that the recipient received the email and they open it. So I know, okay, I can check back with them in 2 days or 3 days. Maybe they need some more time to read it, So I love that. I love Google Keep. And
Your team Trello, right?
I am Team Trello. I am Team Trello. I am not using Trello as best as I could be because I looked at that Think Creative Collective. They had a that 4-day challenge, and I said, wow, it just blew my mind. So I'm not using it as to its fullest potential, but I love it as well. Very very neat app, and the amount of things that you can attach to it as well, the different apps that you can attach to it, and so I love Trello. But Google Keep and Mixmax right now, they're like on my hit list. I'm definitely loving those 2 apps. For sure.
Yeah, I'm an Evernote person myself. So I love same reasons as you with Google Keep of just being able to jot down notes to remember later. You can scan in documents, even with your phone, take a picture, and it'll let you search, even handwritten text. It'll search by those keywords that you've written in handwritten text because it reads it for you. So that it definitely helps you keep organized and focused because sometimes like you've got an idea, but you're in the middle of something. So you can just jot it down and then come back to it later when you have time to develop it. So
exactly, and that's what I do. The idea is down, and I come back. Sometimes you have an idea, right? You put it down, and you may come back to it like a week or 2 later, and you're like, this idea sucks. Like, why did I think this was so great? But you had some, maybe some time passed, and because that's what I like to do. I like to come back and maybe try to see if I could develop it, like you said, add some notes to it, see if this is something that's even worth, exploring or whatever. And you're like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yep. I have one note in my Evernote that's just for ideas. And then if one starts to develop a little better, then I'll put it in its own note. And that's when it like, I'm a crazy person that like, I'll see a conversation going on Facebook that's related to one of the topics that I had an idea around, and I'll screenshot the conversation or like copy and paste. And so that I'm keeping track of what other people even have to say on this topic. Right. It's like, oh, my idea is a solution for that problem.
Yeah. You're taking it to a whole other level. I love it.
And you know what? I don't know if I've ever gone back and looked at those notes, but they're there in case that I need to.
Exactly. At least you're not, some people, they take it to the next level and they start buying the domain names.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I know so many people, they just have domain names of ideas. And it's a ton of domain names. I'm like, but those things cost money, though. You got to pay for it every year. So,
yeah. Well, and here's the thing, though, that I used to do that, but I have gotten better because I've realized that even as a brand strategist, brand designer background, so many people, they jump to the wrong things when they've got an idea. And so they go straight to the design, and they, especially as a designer, so they start, getting their social media graphics out there and their, pretty website, and they create a logo and they've got the URL before they've even talked to any clients and know if it's pre-validated idea. And, you need to build your foundation first, even if you just have this crappy little website that, is a placeholder for now. And then once your idea is validated, then you want to get the professional presence. And, I'm definitely all for starting your business on a good foot. But sometimes you just need to get something out there and, and then solidify your idea and make sure it's something you even want to do. Because, I have domains and websites that I've started that 2 months later, I was like, this is not going anywhere. What was I thinking that I spent all this time branding this brand new business that I'm not doing anything with?
I know. It sucks. As entrepreneurs, it's a blessing and a curse, us having ideas, and just being action takers and, moving forward on those. So we just got to balance it, right?
Yeah. And my husband just doesn't understand because I'll share with him every month. It's like, oh, I've got this new business idea. And he's like, okay, yeah, that one's not going to take off. And then when I started pursuing Bosscation, he's like, oh, this is legit. You're actually pursuing this one. So... But I would love to wrap up. Where can people find you? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so you can find me on my website at theconferenceconnection.com and on Instagram and Facebook at The Conference Connection.
All right, awesome. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up to let us know that you liked and were listening, and let us know in the comments what you do to focus in your business. And then make sure you tune into all the other guest expert interviews on taking back your business, as well as our free challenge to help you get more aligned with your goals and so that you can have that focus, have that path. And also the giveaway with tons of amazing prizes and giveaways from all of our guest experts. So you can find that at bosscation.com/take back your biz. That's BIZ. So that's all for now. Bye.